Now guys, wouldn't it be nice to have a time machine to hop in that sucker, fly back in time, and start fixing all the problems that we cause for ourselves, both in our personal and business lives? Now, since we don't have such a thing that I know of, right, we do not get time back, unfortunately. So we need to make sure to protect our time going forward, to protect our resources, and the best way to do so is to learn from others. And I've been very successful in business. I'm gonna share with you 16 regrets that I have in my personal business out of thousands. That's just all the room I had on the board, plus I don't have all day, and nor do I wanna sit here and listen to them all. But these are the ones that I think are most important for you guys, because this is a very common question I get, which is, if I could start over, what would I have done different? So let's dig into these guys and put your comments below if you've made these mistakes or you're thinking about some of these, because it's gonna help a lot of other people. Now, number one, you have to get educated to do anything in life. And it's important to understand there's 2 steps for education: wisdom and knowledge, street justice through failing forward and taking action and implementing. This is what you can learn from others, books, podcasts, mentors, etc. This is what you learn from yourself making mistakes. Both go hand in hand. A lot of people just do this and learn over here and they never implement. You're really not doing much if you're not implementing. You're just learning. You're a professional learner. And a lot of people say, oh, I already know that, or I already know what you're talking about, or I already know what he's talking about. You don't know it unless you're doing it. A lot of people know a lot of things. Like, I know how to hit a golf ball, but I can't hit a golf ball. So I don't really know how. I intellectually understand it, but you only learn through street justice. Now, it's important to understand that there's a lot of different ways to get educated in real estate. We're gonna go over them, but the one that I did when I started out that screwed me over big time was I put up a bunch of money, over $30,000, to one of those guru scam artists, guys. And I'm not a guru, I'm on here, I'm trying to help you guys. This is a hobby of mine. I want to pay it forward because I've had a lot of people help me in my business. I'm not trying to sell you some $50,000 guru program. That's what happened to me. I got ripped off by one of those gurus, and they promised me through slick salesman type of techniques on stage. You know, they're like, well, how much did you pay for college? And one deal, one average flip across North America is $40,000. So if we can only fail miserably and teach you how to do one deal, you're gonna get all your money back. And then you're sitting in the crowd and you're like, man, I believe in myself and I'm all pumped up for a new change in life, and I have self-esteem that I can do this, and I know I can get at least one deal done, so it's gonna pay for itself. And they trick you, right? You go put up all that money, then it's too late. They tell you you can get your money back, and you can't, right? So be very careful, guys. The way I actually learned the business was this. I paid $30,000+ to go through one of these rip-off companies. Not gonna tell you which one, I don't need a lawsuit. And they told me to go to a free meetup group. And that's where I went to a free meetup group in my local market. The first one I went to, I said, man, I just learned more in this free event than I did from paying $30,000 to go to this scam artist. Then I started getting out there on the internet, listening to podcasts, YouTube channels, and finding real mentors in my local marketplace, and buying small home study courses. These are the best things you can do, guys, because I promise you, what's out there for free on the internet is the same thing these guys are teaching on stage, but for no cost. In fact, I think there's a lot better information for free. You just need what's called personal initiative to go out there and find the information, which you're doing watching this video right now. Now, if you are gonna spend money, don't waste more than a few $100s on a home study course. This is the most I would spend on anything. Don't go through all these big scam artists, guys. I promise you, you're gonna regret it. Number 2, communication and the ability to persuade and influence people. Business is done through persuasion and influence. If you can't get people to follow you and be on board with whatever you're doing, you're gonna grow no business, because businesses are grown through duplication, and you can't duplicate unless you get people on the same team as you, thinking the same way you do, believing in what you're talking about. You can't get a motivated seller to work with you over another investor unless you have the ability to persuade and build rapport. Persuasion and the ability to influence is probably the single most important attribute that top high achievers and high performers have. I'd be reading every book I could find on these, everything that you can find on the internet for free, consume it, and consume it as fast as possible. Number 3, traveling to network. Most people stay in their local market. And when I start getting outside of my market, going to other events, other masterminds, going to Florida and Virginia and Mississippi, I found my best friends and my partners and individuals that really wanted to help me and share real information with me. What you're gonna find is if you stay locally confined in your own local market, these people are gonna share a little bit with you, but they're your competitors. They're not gonna give you all the bells and whistles and tricks that they've used to become successful. But if you're in California and you go all the way to Florida and you're at a mastermind event, or you're with some other people at a seminar, they're gonna share freely with you, because they're doing so in hopes that you share freely back with them what you know, your best tricks, and they're gonna share their best tricks with you, because you're halfway across the country, you're not competing against each other. When you get outside your market, information flows more freely. You're gonna find that out. So travel to get better information. Number 4, taxes. Why do people not wanna learn about taxes? It sucks, it's boring, but you know what's not boring? all the stuff you get to do with all the extra money that you have, like traveling the world with your family and sitting on the beach drinking Mai Tais because you saved a bunch of money because you grunted it out and learned all the boring stuff. Taxes, financing, interest rates, yields, all the things that people don't want to learn that they push off and say, I'll learn later when I start making money. Guys, you need to learn this stuff now, because when you start making money, it's too late. You're going to give a lot of money away. And if you understand exponential growth and compounding, you really need to keep every single dollar reinvested to see how fast it expands on the back end. Learn about your taxes, guys. Real estate is one of the biggest reasons people get into real estate is that real estate is as a tax shelter, and it helps you avoid a big burden on paying taxes, okay? Number 5, avoiding bad advice. Oh my gosh. I took so much bad advice from so many people because I listened to other people who are starting out in the business just like me. If you want to learn how to do 1 or 2 deals, learn from people who have done 1 or 2 deals. If you want to learn how to do thousands of deals, learn from people who you know have done thousands of deals. You should only learn from people who have already done what you want to do. For example, I'm out there, scaling this eXp Realty team all across North America, and one of the reasons why so many people are coming over here is they want to learn how I did it, and they can partner directly with me. When I ran my investing company, primarily and only that over the past few years, everybody wanted to be my partner. But I can't just take on partners in my investment company. I can take on as many partners as I want in all 50 states in Canada because of the way we're doing this with our eXp Realty revenue share model. So I think all investors should have a license, and all you need to do to partner with me to learn from me is have a real estate license. You can be anywhere in the country. I've already done it, so I know how to share with you how to do it. In my local market, guys, when I was starting out, I was learning from people who had not done the things I wanted to do, because everybody has loose lips and opinions. And if you do not know for 100% sure that that mentor of yours or that person that you're talking to has done what you want to do not listen to advice from them. You only listen to high performers on what you're trying to do, because there's lots of loose opinions out there, guys, and that's what sinks the ship. Okay? Number 6, learn how to raise money sooner. This is a big one. I got in, I started wholesaling houses. I didn't think it was important. And then when I started flipping houses, I got the most expensive money I could, some rip-off hard money loans. The faster you learn how to raise money, the more money you're gonna make, the faster you can compound it. And a lot of people don't go talk to people about raising money because they think I'm new in the business, there's a limiting belief, and they're thinking that person over there will never lend to me, especially younger people. Guys, they're lending on the asset off a leveraged position of loan to value. People out there have money. They're all busy in the other businesses that they run. They need to lend it to you to get a high return on their investment. They need you just as much as you need them. And most people think that you're trying to chase people down or trick people to lending money to you. You're helping them out, and they're helping you out. They need you just as much as you need them. And when you understand that, you'll talk to more people and you'll raise more money. Number 7, time management. Guys, if you do not structure and manage your time, you're gonna waste time. And most people float through the world like a bag in the wind. So they wake up and they say, okay, world, I'm gonna take over, I'm gonna dominate business, and they think they're so good as an entrepreneur, and they think they're killing it, and they just wait to react to the world. They wait for phone calls to come in to react to that. They wait till an email comes in to react to that. They're reacting all day. Successful people plan their day, and everybody else reacts to their schedule. Most of y'all are out there reacting to everything else happening around you, and you know what this feels like, to work 12 to 14 hours a day, get to the end of the day, you're exhausted, yet nothing's happened. It's because you're reacting and you're doing maintenance tasks, and you're not doing what's called a high leverage activity that was planned out ahead of time, okay? Plan your days. Number 8, delegation. Time or money? What do you want? Time or money? And in the beginning of a business, most people are going backwards, they're losing money, so all they can think about is that money, that little bit of capital that they're working with, their working capital. And they don't want to hire off and delegate off to virtual assistants or employees because they see the money going out the door to them, but they don't see the value coming back in the time that they're saving. I did this for a long time, guys. I was focused on money, not time. When I shifted thinking about how to save my time, which is way more valuable than money, I mean, guys, a virtual assistant is $3 to $7 an hour. I think your time's worth more than $3 to $7 an hour, right? So most people are thinking about how to save money and not save time. If you start thinking how to save time, your time, and then spending money how to buy your time back, you're gonna grow a lot faster, I promise you. Number 9, internet and social media. You are watching me on social media right now, just to show you how important this is. This is a crucial skill set. If you do not understand internet marketing and social media marketing in 2020, guys, you're gonna get left behind. Everybody's moving towards cloud-based technology. Everybody's moving towards internet-driven marketing strategies. If you're not figuring out how to do this, I don't care if you're 2 years old or 200 years old, this is a skill set that's necessary to compete in business going forward. You need to figure these things out, okay? And there's plenty of information on the internet to find these things. Number 10, trust less people, be more aware. I got ripped off by so many people. I got ripped off by partners, I got ripped off by contractors, I've been ripped off by pretty much anybody and everybody. If there's a way to have gotten screwed in business, I figured out how to do it multiple times over. I promise you that. And the reason why I was getting ripped off in the beginning was because I was new in the business and everybody knew that I was new because you can feel it off people. They ask you little probing questions, and I had a partner who I thought was an experienced investor, who I thought was a mentor and someone I looked up to, and I got myself 65 grand debt on my own. And then I got out of debt, and the week I got out of debt, this person stole $30,000+ from me, and I went right back into debt, and it almost crushed me, and it almost ruined my career. I trusted this person because they put on a persona and this illusion that they were successful. They ran a flooring company. I didn't know that, or I kind of knew that, but I thought they were a high-level rehabber, and they drove me to like 10 or 12 houses they were supposedly working on, but these were flooring jobs that they took on because they were doing it for almost nothing, which is why they got the jobs for other investors, and they told me that these were their flips. I dropped my guard, and a few months later, that person stole a bunch of money from me, and now they're all over Dallas stealing money from people, and still it's quite a nasty nightmare around here because this individual. Hopefully he goes to jail sometime. Now, you need to make sure when you're working with someone that they're not trying to get you. I'm not trying to scare you, but there's a lot of sharks in the business, and there's a lot of money in real estate, and there's a lot of scam artists. So trust people only once you can verify that they're not someone that's going to scam you, okay? Number 11, less partners and more debt. If I could go back, I would have eliminated all my partnerships, kind of like I just talked about. He screwed me over. That was a partnership. Most people want to have partners because if you're thinking you need a partner, guys, it's because you're trying to be lazy. We all go back to school and group projects, and we want to be the one that does the least amount of work but still gets the A, right? That was smart in school. If you figured out how to do no work but still get the A, you are a smart kid in school. When it comes to the real world, it's flip 180. When you do the least amount of work and put it off on someone else, you are setting yourself up to get scammed or cheated or lose money. You want to be in control and not the opposite way around. And so one of the biggest mistakes I've made is partnering with people over the years. I would rather raise more money at a higher interest rate, even pay usury rates, and have control of the deal all on my own than to have partners. Now, if you can only do a deal with a partner, guys, only do deals one by one. You can partner on 50 houses one by one, or you can start an LLC and be in a company together and have 50 deals done in that company. But just like marriage, you're gonna see a very high divorce rate. In fact, I don't know anybody that's been together with their partner for over 10 years successfully. They all break up. Now, some of you are on here saying, we've been partners for 15 years. Great, that's great. You're the 0.0001%. But for most of you, you're gonna have a nightmare. Raise money at a higher interest rate if you have to, however you have to figure it out, but don't have partners, guys. That's gonna be my best advice for you on that, okay? Keep or kept more houses. I wholesaled a lot of houses. I flipped a lot of houses back in the day. If I just kept a few of those houses, my net worth would be tens of millions of dollars, potentially higher, legitimately, because I was buying houses for $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, putting $30,000, $40,000 in them and selling them for like $130,000, $140,000. Or I get a house under contract for $50,000 and flip the contract for $60,000. And at the time, that immediate gratification, that $10,000 or that $40,000 flip, and we all know what this is like if you're flipping houses and building a portfolio. Your goal is to flip the house, get done on the back end, cash out refinance, and then you get to the end, you're like, oh, well, let me just see what I can test the market for. You put it on the market, you get an offer where it's a $50,000 profit, and you take the immediate gratification today instead of having that property cash flow for you for the rest of your life and pass it on through generational wealth, as well as build up all the equity. So those houses that I was selling for $130,000, $140,000 in DFW are now worth $250,000 plus. If I just kept a few more houses a year, it'd be unbelievable how much money I'd have right now. The average investor that I meet that's been successful, including Tim Harridge on our last podcast, will tell you if they kept more houses, and I think he says if he kept one more house over 20 years, his net worth would be $5 million more. What if he kept 2 more houses each year? $10 million more. Keep every house you can, guys, I promise you. Keep your houses, don't sell them. I know you need the money today, but if you don't need it, keep it. Equity cash flow, same thing right there. Work for equity and work for cash flow, don't work for earned income. A lot of y'all think these people are out there on the internet showing you that they built these big wholesaling companies or these big flipping companies. Guys, they're not making the money you think they are, I promise you. The successful people in real estate work for equity and cash flow. I mean, look at Grant Cardone out there. He's not teaching you to wholesale houses. He's teaching you to buy multi-unit apartment complexes. The most successful people work for equity and cash flow. They don't work for transactional money, which is meaning you trade your time to get paid once and only once. You need to start trading your time for something that builds over time and pays you over and over. Recurring income, you're gonna hit your goals faster. Better contractors. Oh my gosh, I've been scammed in every way. I've had contractors steal every single paint sprayer, power washer. I've had them damage my properties. I've had them steal pretty much anything they could steal from me. And one of the biggest mistakes I made was I would hire the cheap contractor based off price. And I think this is what a lot of people do. You should pay more for the contractor that you know is going to do it on the time frame that they say they're going to do it on, and that's going to do good work. Because if you have a guy that says he's going to do it for $2,000 and the other one said $5,000, but that one that said $5,000 would get it done in 2 weeks, well, this person may take 2 months by the time you wrangle them down and get them into the property. The other thing is by the time they're done, it's going to look like crap. You're going to have to tear it out and pay this person anyway. So the first thing I would have done different if I could go back renovating houses was find quality work and pay them what they're worth and make sure they get in to drop my carrying costs down, do the job faster, and make sure I don't have to pay to get it done again. Hire the best contractors you can find, and if you can find ones that are making you pay a lot of money but they're good, pay them their money. They are worth it. Credit card companies. Okay, this is a big one, guys. A lot of you are going to do what I did. I went through one of those rip-off credit line companies. They're all over the big seminar gurus. They're all over the internet saying, we're going to get you $50,000 to $250,000 of unsecured credit lines of credit. We're going to get you 9 to 24% interest rates, or 6-month, 18-month periods of 0% interest. Then you go pay a bunch of money. They're just going to apply for credit cards you could apply for on your own. And what you're going to see is the worst side of the spectrum on all of them. Instead of 6 months 0% or 18 months 0% interest, you're going to get 6 months. Instead of 9% interest rates, you're going to get 24% interest rates. Instead of getting $250,000, you're going to get approved for $50,000. And then you're going to have all these high interest rates that are going to kick in, guys, and you're going to be a nightmare. Now, I did use credit cards to get my business off the ground, but it took me a long time to get out of the headache I got myself into. So be very careful. You need to get what's called a real credit line, not some of these rip-off credit card companies. Be very, very wary of these. The last one, guys, I would have worked harder. I would have worked more hours. And a lot of you are saying, well, Connor, I know your story. You worked 1,100 days straight when you got into business. I did it because I was scared and I was in survival. And yeah, I was working 80 to 100 hours a week. I still look back and I say, I wish I would have put more time in. Guys, you're not going to get time back, and you're going to wake up 10 years down the road and you're going to say, I wish I would have put more time in. 2 things people always tell me: I wish I would have kept more houses. I wish I would have put more time in. I know we covered a lot, guys. Put your comments below. I hope you liked the video. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you think there's something of value in today's episode. I'll see you on the next one. See you here in a couple days. Have a good day.